to be fulfilling your promise of closing the achievement gap and putting big investments in early childhood. And when I look at, even with that advance, we are spending $250 million roughly out of a $17 billion education budget, which turns out to be 1.5%, despite the fact that research now shows that 80% of your brain is developed by age 3, 90% by age 4, and by kindergarten, over 95%. So almost all of the brain development is occurring where we're not doing anything very substantial to help. There's two things that need to be done. And yes, this bill does make a start at the achievement gap, but it really isn't going anywhere near far enough. And it isn't targeting heavily enough, as the more recent research shows you have to do. You have to pour money in to both the family and the child to bring up that child to where they're going to be the equal of other kids. On the other hand, Governor Dayton is also looking at a program for everyone, and some people say, oh, well, that isn't going to close the achievement gap. We need to catch up with the world, and there is value in Universal 4. It's proven that it does raise middle class kids. It's nowhere near as much as what would happen if we also put a lot of targeted money into the most at-risk kids. But we have to have both. And so I just hope that we can send this back and actually really start for once and commit to raising kids in this state to be the best success they can. And there's all the research nowadays is that you have to have the early childhood. Why not go back? I think with $1 billion sitting on the bottom, we could go back and give Governor Dayton at least his 200 or 250 million on his program and match that in not just early scholarships, but there's a lot of things that can be done that way. It can be through schools. There's a lot of different ways. But we have to target and really put in the extra amount. I know you know of Art Reynolds and Art Rolnick. Their studies right here in Minnesota on the Chicago and the Perry's preschool.